Jaydn here from Recharge Physio, and today we're going to talk about shoulder pain, particularly lateral shoulder pain with abduction, which is taking an arm out to the side. So it's a really common presentation, and there's three main common causes of this, and I'll talk about this today. So firstly, in here we can get a pinching called Impingement Syndrome, which is a pinching into the shoulder. Sometimes you can go past it, it's like sort of about 90 degrees, and you go past it, then it's okay, then it pinches again at the top. So that's one of the conditions. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later. You can also have a rotator cuff issue, which is an issue with the tendons. You can either have a strain or a partial tear or a full tear of the tendons. It's often associated with more weakness. And then a third common condition is deep in the shoulder, which is in this structure here. It's called a capsule. So capsule, you might have heard of frozen shoulder or adhesive capsulitis as the medical term. So basically the ball and socket joint of the shoulder through here has a sock around it called a capsule that encapsulates the shoulder, and that can get inflamed and sore as well. And so there's three kind of common presentations of the shoulder, and it's important as physio we try to differentiate between what's causing the discomfort. There are many other causes of shoulder pain taken out to the side, but these are just three common ones. I'll explain how we'd assess each one. So firstly, they could all cause pain out to the side in this direction here, but there's some key points that differentiates them. Firstly, with the pinching one here, it's often associated with tightness of the pec minor, which is a muscle through here, which is this muscle up here in the diagram through here. It can also be associated with tightness around through the thoracic spine here, because if the middle back's tight, it throws the shoulder forward and it limits the shoulder blade rotation as you take your arm out. In fact, for every 2 degrees at the ball and socket joint, there's actually 1 degree or a third of the range and through the scapulothoracic junction. So the middle spine mobility of your mid-spine through here is really, really important for your shoulder function. And in modern life, a lot of the times we're driving a desk, we're driving a car, etc. We do a lot of stuff going forward and not as much stuff going back or reaching up. And so that can create these imbalances around that thoracic spine. As well as that, we can have imbalance, so we can have weakness of the stabilized muscles through here. Another structure can be an issue. You can get a little bone spur on the edge of the acromion through here. And a common thing too is we can get, there's a sac of fluid there called a bursa, which can be inflamed, enlarged and pinching. And so there's a variety of ways in how we can assess that. We can assess the range of motion, we can check the muscle balance around through the shoulder, we can have a feel through that mid-thoracic mobility to make sure that's working really well. And we can actually refer for an ultrasound scan that'll have a look at the tendons and have a look at the sac of fluid, the bursa, to see if that's inflamed. And also an x-ray can be useful to see if there's any little acromion, like a point on the end of the shoulder, bony point, which reduces that space. And so that's a really important differential tool between the cuff issues, which is the tendons, and also pinching issue called impingement. The other part is frozen shoulder. So with frozen shoulder, generally speaking, it not only affects abduction, but also really importantly, external rotation. So external rotation is very limited, often to about here, and also internal rotation arm behind your back. It's typically also characterized by night pain, and it can cause a kind of gradual stiffening of the shoulder. It's really important that's assessed as well, and in some cases, if it's called early cortisone into the joint space, called an intra-articular cortisone, can also help to reduce swellings of the shoulder and accelerate recovery. So that's a little bit about some of the differentials between three common shoulder conditions, and we'll show you a few corrective exercises now for the most common thing, which is the pinching or impingement syndrome of the shoulder. Hello, there's a great stretch you can do in a doorway, so release through the front of your shoulders, particularly your pec major and pec minor through here. Start low to start with, so you have your hands quite low, okay? So elbows are below your shoulder height, and just gently bend your front knee and just stretching and getting a nice opening through the front of your chest and shoulders. Ideally do that for about 20 seconds. If you're feeling okay with that and you want to progress, you can gradually move your arms up a bit higher and come through, do a nice stretch through the front of the chest and shoulders. As long as you're not getting pinchy through the shoulder. If you're getting pinchy discomfort as you're doing that, drop your arms down a bit lower so it's a bit more comfortable. So we want to be pain-free stretching through the front of the chest and shoulder, that one. Okay, what I'm going to do now is going to show you some helpful exercises to improve impingement syndrome of the shoulder, the pinchy type pain. And it's important that it's accurately diagnosed and the factors are addressed by your treating physio. And so these are some common exercises that can really help you. Firstly, it's about middle back mobility, as I was saying. So I'm going to use a Swiss ball. This is really important to help to improve the extension of your thoracic spine and middle back. This is a 55 centimeter Swiss ball. I call this a sunbathe. You kind of pretend you're hanging on the beach. So just have your hands behind your head and just tuck your elbows in. Sometimes if they're out, it can cause a bit of pinching of the shoulders, so tuck those elbows in. All we're going to do is tuck your chin in and just gently extend that middle back over the Swiss ball. And we can hang out there for about 10 to 20 seconds and do a couple of repeats of those. Now we're going to do some strengthening with a band. So there's a whole bunch of exercises you can do with a band. A couple of things we're going to do is going to strengthen the muscles that pull your shoulder blades back, and also it's really important to strengthen your external rotation of your shoulder as well, because it helps to open it up too. So firstly, with a band just down below, you can have your palms facing forward, opens your shoulder, and just squeeze your shoulder blades back. So you're squeezing it back whole for a good couple of seconds and slowly release it, let it go. Now you want to do quite high repetitions, so kind of 12 to 15 plus repetitions, because they're endurance muscles. As a progression, you can come a bit higher, so a bit higher up, you can go here, as long as there's no pinching through the shoulder. So set back for 1 and 2, and let it go, and set back for 1 and 2, and slowly let it go. You can then, after you've done the scapular work, you can just do some external rotation. Here it's important your elbows are tucked in, doing some nice external rotation, strengthening of the shoulder. So that helps a couple of things, improving your shoulder coming back, but it also helps to reduce what we call upwards migration of the humerus, which is reducing pinching through there as well. Now, above all advice, listen to your body, and it's important exercises are done pain-free and comfortably. We also find sometimes having some support of K-tape from the front of the shoulder, pulling it back gently, can often reduce pinchy discomfort into the shoulder, in addition to sometimes some topical icing for about 10 minutes after any exercise. If you have any further questions about your shoulder or you want some help, just be in touch. We're rechargephysio.nz, and we're happy to see you or answer any questions over the phone.